Hello and welcome to this week's video. I wanted to do a little update basically on everybody. So I want to give you an update on Kenko, Mo, Zora, Obi, Corona, not a new horse of mine, a virus. I'm sure you all know what I'm talking about. And DeeDee, of course. So I'm going to go through, and I've got a few pictures of them from recently. But yeah, I'm just going to give you a little update on what I'm doing to adapt to this new semi-virtual way that we have to live, because, well, we can't travel around as much as we would like to. And also some of the services that I'm now offering to you guys who definitely don't live in the UK or don't live within an hour or a couple of hours of me, so coming and training with me is not so possible. So I'll get started by telling you those little things that I am doing, and then we will get on to talking about all the horses and how they are all getting on. So the first thing I want to talk about is video analysis. So I have been offering this on my other social media channels, Instagram, Facebook, and a new page that I've got called a patron page. So what happens is, basically the format that it works in is you guys send me up to 20 minutes of video on a file sharing service, so like Dropbox, WeTransfer, by email. Email is difficult, but the other two are pretty good. And then I watch it, I formulate and put it into a video. I don't like edit it as such, but I'll pop it in a video all together, and then I'll give you a voiceover of it, and then we can talk, and then I'll give you some training plan, so some exercises, some things that you can be doing, so that you can then use the feedback I've given you, video some stuff again, and then the cycle continues. So if you are interested in that kind of thing, I have priced it really reasonably so that I can help you guys more, basically, because I want to be able to help more of you and keep it affordable for you guys. So drop me a message and we can chat more about that. So that is option number one. Option number two would be to be able to do some live kind of FaceTime video lessons with you guys. You'd have to have FaceTime so that I can see what's going on, and then also that you'd be able to have a way that you could then hear what I was saying from the point of view from the camera. So if you've got some Bluetooth headphones or something, very easy. If you don't, you need to have two phones. It gets a little more complicated, but if that is something you'd be interested in, then we can work it out. I haven't had any sessions like that pre-booked, but definitely not impossible. And then the third thing, and this one's pretty cool, so I've set up a patrons page. So a patrons page is where you guys can come and you pledge a little bit of money to me, and I then supply you with way more content. Because as a creator, it can be quite hard sometimes, because I want to be able to create more, but I also don't want to give away all of the stuff that I have spent a long time learning and working on completely for free. This is a lot why I haven't shared about the groundwork and stuff, because it's taken me a lot of time to learn, and it's complicated, you know. It's not just oh, do this, do that, you'll get the horse to spin round to the mounting block, for example. It's a long process, and I want to share that process with you all, but I also don't want to necessarily just give that away for free. I hope you can understand that as a professional. This isn't my hobby, this is my livelihood, and I have to be realistic about that. So the patrons page is great because it means you can pledge a really tiny amount of money to me, and I mean £1 a month. And at the moment I've got a podcast up. I posted it yesterday. It's like a walkthrough of a warm-up, so you can ride with me in your ear. You know, it's along the lines of, hi, welcome to training with me. Let's start thinking about what we're doing in our warm-up. Let's set some intentions for our warm-up, that kind of thing. So it means that then you've got a podcast to listen to while you're riding for as little as £1 a month. And there's going to be so many more. I have so much information in my brain. Like, I could talk for hours and hours. My lessons when I coach I have to be very picky with what I pick to choose to work on, because I want to work on everything all at once. So to be able to share that feeling with you, that passion with you guys, is really cool. So go and have a little search. I'll put the link in the description down below, and then yeah, let me know what you guys think of it. I would really appreciate your feedback. Now that I have dealt with those corona shaped things, we are still coaching in the UK. I did some coaching yesterday, which was great, keeping a distance, making sure that I'm not using my headsets at the moment, so that I don't have to like be touching things and passing them to somebody else, just, you never know, just in case. But we are still coaching, and I'm still accepting training liveries. I've got a new person coming today, which is really cool, for her horse to be restarted. So if you're interested in all of that side of things with the yard, then we are definitely still open for business. I really hope I can get through this corona. I mean, I don't really feel like I have a choice whether I get through it or not. It's just whether some things have to change for me to do so, I don't know. I have a member of staff, for example, and I really hope I can maintain employing her at the level that I am now. It's a very tricky time, and I'm going to do my absolute best to keep my head above the water, but as you can understand, it's pretty terrifying. So this is why I have offered these virtual lessons, and this is something I've wanted to do for a long time, and it's just always one of those things where you need a proper shove to make yourself do it. So here I am offering this virtual service. So drop me a message if you have any questions, or leave a comment below if you've got any questions at all. I always try and reply and follow the comments on these videos. And yeah, I hope that one of those things can be helpful to you, even just in a really small way. And now on to the update part. So I wanted to just give you a little update on all the horses. So let's start with the youngest. So DeeDee, she is now, she was born in May, so she is nearly a year old. A couple of months time and she'll be 1 whole year old. She's in her yearling year as such. I'll put a couple of pictures that I've got of her recently. So she's doing a lot of growing, as you can see. She is pretty much kind of up to here now. I haven't actually measured her recently because she's been in the field, but not long ago I measured her and she was 14.1, and that was a while ago when we had all the wet weather. She came in a little bit. She's been doing really well. She's out with 2 young ones now. We've split the field up. So I've brought the old mare Nanette, I'll put a picture of her in, she's 25 now. She's come into one of the different fields, and then Kenko, my pony that's in foal, talk about her in a minute, in a separate field. So those 2 are together, and then we've got DeeDee, Zolo, my friend's 2-year-old. I'll put a picture of him in just so you can see for reference. And then a lovely client's yearling that has just arrived yesterday. Her name is Orla, and she's very sweet. And they're doing really well. DeeDee has been eating the Sure Grow from Dodson and Horrell, and it's actually been very good. I've noticed that it's been helping her with her growing, but without making her too fat. And this is something that is quite important. She's a good weight going into spring. You don't want your yearlings looking too fat. So yeah, really pleased with how she's going. She's just big and very sweet and gentle still. She's such a lovely girl. And also something I want to mention, which is quite interesting. When we first started out with her, I did a lot of the groundwork when she was first in with Mo. So the turning the hind legs and the asking her to step back and away from me and into her own space. And I don't practice it very often, you know, only when I bring her in for the farrier or to be have her rug changed or whatever it might be. I just ask her to back up a few steps or to turn the hind leg, and she understands it so well. That feeling in her body of how to move her body is still so in her brain, which is really positive, because it means then I'm not gonna, there's a dog at the door, there's not gonna be a problem when we go on, because she already understands that spatial respect and that way to feel in her body that doesn't make her blocked and bargy. So, number 1 for DeeDee, very good. I'm just going to have to let this dog in, hang on. Next up, let's go Kenko. So, she's looking pretty fat. I'll put a picture in of her. She's literally just out in the field. We actually discovered when I brought her to swap the fields around, that she was lame. Not badly lame, but lame. Farrier came and he thinks that something went into her frog and then came back out again. Right on the soft bit, right at the point of her frog. So he cut some of the hoof away and we've been dry poulticing it, and her and Nanette are having a few little hotel days where they come in and lie down and sleep a bit and just enjoy being pampered basically for a few days. So I'll share some pictures of her now. She is due her foal in June, so a while left yet, but she looks pretty big. You can see it kind of hangs down, and we've been spending, now that she's in, we've been spending some time touching her, like touching her body, and you can feel it moving. So exciting, I can't believe it. She's been so straight, it's been so straightforward. It's been the only thing that's been straightforward with this pony. Putting her in foal, we scanned her one day. The next day she was ovulating, so we inseminated her the next day. 2 weeks later we scanned her in foal. 2 weeks later after that, heartbeat scan. That was it. And then since then she's just lived out in the field. And she looks well and fat, but not too fat, as in not too like fatty. You don't want them really overweight because it's not good for the foal. It doesn't leave much space for the poor little foal to grow. And she just seems so happy. I just know that I made the right decision by her. She just wasn't a ridden pony, and now all of the things that she used to be unhappy about us touching her body or moving around her, she's just okay with. So yeah, I'm really feeling good about her. Next up, let's go to the ridden horses. So Zora, she's been coming back into work. She's had some mud fever, which is really annoying, and I haven't been able to get rid of it. I've been using a couple of different things, but I've had to admit defeat and get some medicated cream from the vet because her skin was just very pink and it wasn't healing up, and yeah, it's been tricky. Some people on my last video mentioned that they thought that she looked a bit stiff or a bit unsound, and this is why. It's because she's had this ongoing slight filling around the white hind leg. So people were saying they thought it was her foreleg, left fore. It's that diagonal pair that is the problem. The vet has been and seen her, and he's perfectly happy with her. So we are just carrying on gently, she can't go out in the field because of it. It's just rubbish because it's so wet. So she's got to stay in. So we hand graze her. She goes to the horse walker, and then I ride her. And she's doing really well. She's so laid back that it's so nice. I've had some really positive rides, and I hacked her out actually the other day, and she was so super. Just really chilled and blowing out a lot and just plodding along, having a great time. So feeling very excited about Zora. I'll post a picture of her now. Yeah, because people had said that she looked a bit fat in my last video. I don't disagree. She had 2 months where she basically was walking, eating hay in a stable, because after she had her random injury that was never really an injury, we don't really know what it was, she just had to have some rest time. So rest time, I don't know if you've ever had any box rest, but yeah, it doesn't tend to make us get super fit and healthy. So we've been monitoring her hay intake and like spreading it out as best we can, and then we've cut her feed right down and stuff to encourage her basically to burn a bit of the fat off, and then yeah, keeping her moving quite a lot. But it's tricky when they're young, when they're fat, because you don't want to overladen their legs, so it's just a case of balance. But she's looking much better than she did a couple of weeks ago anyway. Who's next? Mo is super. I warm her up for a long time. I definitely notice, because she's 16 now, I definitely notice that she gets a bit stiff. So I walk for a good 10 minutes. If you listen to my podcast about warming up, you'll hear all about the benefits of walking and why we should be walking for a long time. And it is true, a horse with, you know, she's got arthritic changes in her hocks, and I have her treated by the vet, and she's on supplements, etc. for it. She sees a physio, and we go to the water treadmill, that kind of thing. I still have to warm her up for a long period of time. You know, I have to be careful that that is what I'm doing. So she's good, she's in full work, she feels fantastic. She's got front shoes on now, which has made a huge difference. I think where the ground's been wet and their soles get a bit thin in this time of year, I have to be a bit careful that I'm looking after her feet properly. So we do a lot of iodine and sugar. I did a post on my Instagram a while back about what I'm talking about there, so if you're interested, go and have a look at my IGTV. I'll put the link down here. I have such a good farrier, and Mo has had endless problems with her feet. She used to be barefoot, so having the shoes put back on was a bit of a kind of moral decision for me. I was a bit like, I don't want to, because she's been barefoot for so long, but actually it's been so brilliant for her.
Never up, never down, never. Alright. Like a theme in a song, clever. Feeling high, feeling low at the same time. Feel so right, then I'm wrong, hoping I'll be fine. But I get up, I always do. I never think, I always do. Never thought I wouldn't jump, oh what a fool. But if I fall, I will get up again. I will get up again. Stronger than I ever been. I will get up again. Stronger than I ever been.
She lost both of her shoes last week, a couple of weeks ago in the field, and I was like, this will be interesting. Both of them came off at the same time, like that, in the mud. So I left, the farrier couldn't come for a few days, so she stayed without her shoes, and the difference was huge. She didn't look lame, but she just didn't look as kind of confident on her feet. So we're considering putting back shoes on as well, to give her a bit more stability, and maybe that will help with that stiffness to help give her back hind end a bit more support. But all in all, I'm feeling super positive about her, and I'm going to share some pictures of her. It'll be interesting to I'll post a couple of pictures of her from now, and then maybe one from when I first brought her back into work, and we can have a look at the difference, because I think it's going to be quite a big difference. The last horse that I'm going to update you on, and that is Obi. We had some really great news. So after regionals, we received a wild card for the nationals. So I'll explain a little bit. At regionals, if you qualify directly, you're in the first 2 or the first 3 of your class, depending on the number of entries, you directly qualify for the nationals. A certain number of spaces, in the class at the nationals. The missing spaces are filled by the highest percentages from the other classes. So because I got a good score, basically, I received a wild card, and I was so happy. I was elated. I was bouncing off the walls, because I thought, you know what, all that hard work, which had felt like it was for nothing, and I was so pleased with our performances. On my own, I wasn't so pleased with, because, you know, I spoke about my performance anxiety, that kind of thing, but actually to have received that wild card and be rewarded for that hard work felt amazing. And then the coronavirus came, and nationals have been cancelled. There's a slim chance they may manage to reschedule them, but I'm not holding out much hope. So we're carrying on with Obi as normal, but I've definitely lessened off on the intense training, and we're doing some more fun stuff. So I'm going to go and do some jump training and that kind of thing, so I'll be sure to take you guys with me. I'll put a picture in of how he's looking at the moment. He's a very funny colour. His coat changes a huge amount, Obi. He goes from being quite brown in the winter to then changing through this weird caramel phase into being black again, and white obviously. But yeah, he's going through a bit of a funny patchy moment at the moment, so I'll put that picture in here. But he's great. We've really got the management right now, and now that the fields are a bit better, he loves going out in the field. So he's been going in the field with one of my breakers at the moment, Duke, the little hairy one. I don't know if you remember seeing him, but they're great friends. So they go out all the time, and that's really nice for them. So we're all just kind of carrying on and hoping that this all blows over as quickly as it turned up, basically, and maybe we can get to go to nationals one day. I don't know. So unknown, isn't it? All of this is so unknown. I think that's what makes it so tricky. So yeah, there is my update. I'm okay. I'm keeping my head above the water. I have a very exciting arrival actually to share with you guys. Let me just wait there. I'm gonna go get him. Where's the pup?
Yeah.
Can you put him on the floor so I can... Come. Hi. Hi. Ralphie, come in. the dogs. This is Ralph. Oh, don't knock my camera off. He is 9 weeks old. He is a dachshund cross Jack Russell, and he is a ray of sunshine in this horrible, dark, shitty time. He is the sweetest little thing. The other 2 dogs are okay about him. The brown one, Lexi, she's not so keen, but Bentley is very keen. You don't mind him so much, do you, Bentley dog? They're sat behind the camera right now. Ouch. But yeah, so this is Ralph. What do you guys think? Look, he has a blue eye. And we got him from Wales, and we went to collect him, and it was a bit sad. The place was not as nice as we thought it was going to be. But he's here now, and he's really healthy, and in a couple of weeks' time he'll go and have his vaccination. But he's going to have to learn about the horses because, well, they all have to learn. But we love him so much. Well, that's basically my life update. I hope you liked it. If you did, give it a like, give it a share. Tell your friends about my Patreon page as well. I'd really appreciate some support on there, even if it's just that little pledge, and then you can get some more content from me. I don't think I've got anything else to say. So I will see you guys next time. Say bye. Bye, Ralph. Bye for now, guys.